Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Habibil Mustafa wa ala alihi wa ashabihi nujumil huda qadati tuqa. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin abdika wa rasulik an-nabiyil ummi nabiyyir rahmah kama tuhibbu wa tarda adada ma tuhibbu wa tarda kullama dhakarahu dhakirun wa kullama ghafala an dhikrihi al-ghafilun. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا ومشايخنا ووفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والعمل وجنبنا الفواحش والمعاصي والخطايا والزلل. اللهم آثرنا ولا تؤثر علينا، اللهم أعطنا ولا تحرمنا، اللهم أكرمنا ولا تهنا، اللهم أرضنا عنك وارض عنا، اللهم أصلح لنا شأننا كله لا إله إلا أنت. أما بعد، وبالإسناد إلى الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى ورضي عنه ونفعنا بعلومه قال: باب إذا لم يكن الإسلام على الحقيقة وكان على الاستسلام والخوف من القتل، لقوله تعالى: قالت الأعراب آمنا قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا أسلمنا، فإذا كان على الحقيقة فهو على قوله جل ذكره إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. This chapter is regarding when Islam is not based upon the haqiqat, meaning it's not genuine, and it is based on account of submission or out of fear of being killed. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, the desert Arabs say, we believe. Say, you do not believe. Say, rather, we have become Muslim. Then, if Islam is based on haqiqat, reality, meaning it's genuine, then this is like the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wherein Allah says, Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam, surely the deen with Allah is Islam. What is Hazrat Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi trying to say over here? Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullahi alayhi says that in the Quran, Allah Pak has said Islam and Iman are two different entities. قالت الأعراب آمنا قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا أسلمنا. So لم تؤمنوا or قولوا أسلمنا meaning أسلمتم. So that means that there is a difference between Iman and Islam. And Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi has been mentioning up to now that they are both same things. Iman and Islam, they both go hand in hand. So Imam Bukhari is trying to explain over here that Iman is in the heart in reality, and what is in the heart cannot come out itself. It has to be brought out. It has to be expressed by the tongue. So this expression is by kalma shahadat. Now, if this expression is in confirmation with what is in the heart, then they are both one thing. But if they don't corroborate and are not together, then it is not the real expression. It will be classed as nifaq, hypocrisy, because there is no Iman in the heart. It's only just lip service. So where Allah Pak, Imam Bukhari has been mentioning in the previous chapters, they are both one things when they are both connected and true to the words. But if there is difference, then they are both different things. Hazrat Shaykh Yunus Sahib says that Allama Sindi rahmatullah alayhi writes that what the Islam which is mu'tabar in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Islam haqiqi, not just Islam of submission due to fear of getting killed. This was the condition of hypocrites. Based on this, some shurrah say that قالت الأعراب آمنا means these Arab and Bedouins were not real Muslims, they were hypocrites. Mujahid says in the tafsir of this ayat, istaslamna khawfa as-sabyi wal qatli. Say that qulu aslamna, yani we have surrendered due to fear of getting captured or killed. However, number two, another group of ulama say that these Bedouins were not munafiqs. They had embraced Islam and their Islam was accepted as well, and they will get sawab upon their Islam as well. The only thing is that since they were very close to Islam, new Muslims, converts, reverts, so Iman and Islam had not set firm in their hearts. Allama ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullahi alayhi writes that most of the new Muslims are like that in the beginning. When they enter Islam, due to some reason, they might have little bit of reservations. Then slowly, as they study and understand better and worship, then Iman and Islam and submission sets into the hearts. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to rectify the Arab, that when they came and they said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while they were boasting, Amanna, Amanna, we have believed in you, we have believed in you. So Allah said, this Iman has not yet set firm in your heart. It will take time before it sets firm. So correct your wordings and say Aslamna. Allama ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah alayhi writes that Allah Pak used the word وَلَكِنْ قُولُوا أَسْلَمْنَا وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. And lamma is used for something which is expected. So if for example, you must have read in Nahw that if a person says قَارَبْتُ الْمَدِينَةَ وَلَمَّا, meaning I have come close to the city but I have not yet entered it, I am about to enter the city. So وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانِ, meaning it is hope that it will enter in your hearts. Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah alayhi writes that if this was not the case, then Allah would not have used this, because for munafiqeen, Allah Pak said, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. In their hearts is a sickness, and Allah increased their sickness. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not use such strict words with regards to these Bedouins. This is an indication that their Iman was accepted, and this was just a correction of their wordings. Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi is trying to say that Islam needs to be with reality and not just for protecting oneself and for fear of getting killed or anything. And this could include what the first group of ulama have said, that it regard to nifaq. However, when it's haqiqat, then it is inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. The religion with Allah is Islam when it is based on pure haqiqat. وبه قال حدثنا ابو اليمان قال اخبرنا شعيب قال عن الزهري قال اخبرني عامر بن سعد بن ابي وقاص عن سعد بن ابي وقاص رضي الله تعالى عنه ان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اعطى رهطا وسعد جالس فترك رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رجلا وهو اعجبهم الي فقلت يا رسول الله ما لك عن فلان فوالله اني لاراه مؤمنا قال مسلما فسكت قليلا ثم غلبني ما اعلم منه فعدت لمقالتي فقلت ما لك عن فلان فوالله إني لأراه من قال مسلم فسكت قليلا ثم غلبني ما أعلم منه فعدت لمقالتي وعاد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يا سعد إني لأعطي الرجل وغيره أحب إلي منه خشية أن يكبه الله في النار. ورواه يونس وصالح بن معبد بن الزهري عن الزهري. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiyallahu anhu says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave some war booty and male ghanimat to a group of people. Rahd is Jama'at Madun al-Ashara. A group of people less than 10, between 3 to 9 are called Rahd. So it was a small group Rasulullah gave them some money from Sadaqah Khairat Mali Ghanimat. Sa'd was seated over there. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left out a person who amazed who amazed Sa'd the most, meaning Sa'd admired him the most, that he was the most pious and nice and good muttaqi parhezgar mu'min. So he says, I said, Ya Rasulullah, why are you turning away from so and so? Ma laka an fulani, yani ma laka tu'rizu an fulani. Why are you not paying attention to that person and turning away from him? Wallah, I think he is definitely a believer. So Sa'd ibn Waqqas took a qasam that he is definitely a believer. Inni la urahu with dhamma means azunnuhu. I have ghalib guman and I think that he is a believer. And if it is la arahu with zabar, then it means to say something definitely. I definitely think that he is a believer. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Aw Musliman," or just a Muslim, meaning don't give shahadat upon the iman of someone. Say that he is a Muslim. How do you know what's in his heart? Because iman is in the heart. Have you opened his heart and had a look inside? فَسَكَتُ قَلِيلًا, I remained quiet for a bit. Then I was overcome by those feelings which I knew regarding him. So I went on to repeat my words. I said, Ya Rasulullah, why are you turning away from so and so? By Allah, I think he is definitely a believer. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, or just a Muslim. So I remained quiet for a bit. Then what I knew of him overcame me, and I repeated my words, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam repeated those words. And then he said, O Sa'd, surely I give to someone while another person is more beloved to me than he, because I fear that Allah would throw him on his face into the fire. إِنِّي لَأُعْطِي الرَّجُلَ وَغَيْرُهُ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْهُ. I give money to someone, meaning I gave to those 5-6 people. وَغَيْرُهُ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْهُ, whereas this person is more beloved to me, meaning the one whom I did not give. I like him more, but I did not give him, I gave the others. Why? Because خَشْيَةَ أَن يَكُبَّهُ اللَّهُ فِي النَّارِ, I fear that Allah might throw him into the fire. أَن يَكُبَّهُ, kabba yakubbu, kabban means throw someone on their face, तो मुंह पर गिरा देना. तो दोज़ख में अल्लाह उसके मुंह के बल उसको ठोंस देंगे और गिरा देंगे. अब अन यकुब्बहुल्लाहु ज़मीर किसकी तरफ लौट रही? Who is it regarding? Number one tafsir is that it's regarding u'ti rajul, that rajul whom I gave. I fear regarding him that if I don't give him, then he might turn his back, go away and become Jahannami. And number two tafsir is yakubbahu is towards waghayruhu, that the other person is more beloved to me because I fear that if I gave him, then he might go into Jahannam, because he is now a Sufi, Safi, pious person. If he gets property and money and wealth, then he might fall for the dunya and then leave all this ibadat and everything and would go in Jahannam. So this is why I don't give him. وَغَيْرُهُ أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْهُ. Now this person whom Rasulullah missed out, who was he? Some said that Rasulullah did not give him because he was not a nice person. However, Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi writes that our Mashaykh have explained that no, he was a very good person, and Shurra have mentioned that his name was Ju'ayd ibn Suraqa al-Dhamuri, and this person, Ju'ayd ibn Suraqa, was a very pious person. There is another hadith which you must have read, that once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was seated among the Sahaba, one person passed, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked that, what do you say about this person? And the Sahaba replied, oh, he is one of the noble persons of the town, and if he was to make a proposal, people would give him their daughter, and if he was to knock on someone's door, they would open and welcome him. He is wealthy, and he is well respected among the society. After a while, another person passed. he was not very well off, poor person, phate purane kapde. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, what do you say about this person? And the Sahaba replied, Ya Rasulullah, this is a lowly person. People would not pay much attention to him. Nobody would give him their daughter. Nobody would open doors for him. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this one person is better than the whole earth full of those of the person who went first. So if the whole earth was filled with the first person, then they would not have so much value as this one single person who is pious, and he has the value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second person who had passed, whom Rasulullah praised, that was Ju'ayl ibn Suraqa al-Dhamri. And Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas might have, remembered that hadith. And that's why he said, Ya Rasulullah, that day you said some nice, praiseworthy, words regarding him. So today, why are you not giving him? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I'm giving those other people because if I was not to give them, they would get angry and they might leave Islam and they were going to Jahannam. So it is better that I keep them closer to Islam, because al-insan abdul ihsan, insan is the slave of ihsan. So many people were muwallafatul qulub, so for their ta'liful qalb, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to give them. And this Sahabi did not need ta'liful qalb. He was he had proper love and muhabbat for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not give him. Now over here in the hadith as well, لَأُرَاهُ مُؤْمِنًا فَقَالَهُ مُسْلِمًا. So it shows that Iman and Islam are two different, because Iman has to do with heart and Islam has to do with submission. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught Sa'd that you should call someone a Muslim. We see him, mashallah, practicing Muslim person, but don't say that so and so is wallah pakka mu'min and he is a believer and big buzrug and so. Don't over exaggerate in the praise of someone. ورواه يونس وصالح ومعمر وابن أخي الزهري عن الزهري. Some people go on YouTube and on a social website praising some of their mashayikh like that. Like there is the Sheikh in Habib Jifri from Yemen, and someone said that he is the best personality of this time and he is the closest in resemblance to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He looks like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and these types of words of praise. So that people should be careful with regards to using these types of words. This is the meaning of this hadith. Babun ifsha'us salam. This chapter is with regards to spreading salam being a part of Islam. Ifsha means to spread and to greet widely, and spreading is through doing often and abundantly. Whenever you meet a Muslim brother, sister, and you are able to greet them, and don't pass by without saying salam. When you make a phone call to someone, then start your conversation with salam and end it with salam as well. This is from the adab of conversation. وقال عمار ثلاث من جمعهن فقد جمع الإيمان الإنصاف من نفسك وبذل السلام للعالم والإنفاق من الإقتار. Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu anhu, the great Sahabi, says that three khubis and khaslats and beautiful attributes, whoever collects them within himself, then he has gathered Iman in him. Being fair from your part, showing justice and fairness and insaf from your part, and spreading salam to the alam, to the whole world, meaning all people, spreading peace among all people, and spending even in times of need. Even when you are needy, you still spend. This is an asar of Sayyiduna Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu anhu. It is possible that he could have heard it from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and maybe he could have said it on his own accord, because when Sahabi says something which is not mudrak bil rai, not within the grasp of the intellect and logic aqal, then it could be marfu'. That's why we said it could be marfu' as well. Al-insafu min nafsik, doing insaf from yourself, meaning, number one meaning Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah says is that insaf with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, just as you want your minors to respect you, similarly you should respect your elders, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most deserving of this respect. So you do insaf with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do adab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi Rahmatullah Alayhi writes that giving insaf from yourself means that if you had done any injustice to someone, you do insaf by, asking them for forgiveness and pardon, and this is insaf min nafsi. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi writes this was the characteristic of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In the battle of Badr, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was straightening the rows, and one sahabi was standing a bit out of the saf. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had a stick in his hand, and he hit the sahabi. He said, stand straight in the row. So the sahabi went back a little bit, and then afterwards, after battle finished, some days later, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, but if I have wronged anyone, please either forgive me or take revenge from me. So the sahabi stood up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, you hit me on my belly when we were standing for the saf. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay, take your qisas, take this stick and hit me. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, but my body was open at that time and your body is covered. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lifted his sheet, and the sahabi rushed and hugged Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and kissed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, this is what I wanted, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't want revenge from you. So this is Rasulullah's insaf from his own self, that with regards to the creation, you are just and fair, and you do insaf with everyone. You treat everyone like your own children. You would treat your own children, and own son and daughter, you would treat them nicely, kindly. وَبَذْلُ السَّلَامِ لِلْعَالَمِ. You can translate as-salam as peace, and this is much needed today, that spreading peace in the whole world for everyone, not just for Muslims. The world needs this peace today. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to arrive today, he would bring the much needed peace to the world, like George Bernard Shaw had said, that if Muhammad was to come to the world today, he would bring the much needed peace to the world. وَالْإِنفَاقُ مِنَ الْإِخْتَارِ. And we are the ambassadors of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so we should try and bring that peace throughout the world. Somebody sent a real nice photo today of in Canada, in Saskatoon, name of a city, there is a masjid, and one of the neighbors brought a very nice flower with a note inside, and said that I am your neighbor, I know that you are very nice people, and I like you, and I hate what people have done with your mosque in so and so city, and I am not with them, and I support you, you are peace loving, you are nice people. So there are very nice people out there. It is only some rogue people who have this agenda of hurting the community, who are causing all these fitnas. Otherwise, we all know, alhamdulillah, Islam is peaceful religion, and inshallah Islam will prevail one day, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has full control over everything. وَالْإِنفَاقُ مِنَ الْإِخْتَارِ. And spending in ikhtar. أَقْتَرَ يُقْتِرُ إِخْتَارًا means إِفْتَقَرَ يَفْتَقِرُ إِفْتِقَارًا, to become poor. So in spite of poverty, a person spends in the on the poor and in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a very good characteristic of Iman. If you develop these three things, you are fair with everyone, you spread peace, and you spend in poverty as well. It is easy to spend in affluence, but hard to spend in poverty. So and there is more reward for that as well. If a person has 1,000 pounds and he gives 50 pounds, then he has given only how many percent from 1,000? 5%. But if another person has 100 pounds and he gives 50 pounds, then he has given 50%. So we can see that 5%, 50%. So if you are in need of your money and still you spend on the poor, then this is very much rewarding. However, one should keep in mind that there is a condition for this, that after spending that, this person should not go out and spread his hands in front of other people and beg from them, nor should he, feel regret upon spending that and then talk to people about it. Oh, I had so much and I spent it and now I'm in need of it. Because by that way, the sawab and the reward of that spending will diminish and fade away. So this is why Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah mentions two hadiths over here. One is of that Sahabi who came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a large piece of gold the size of maybe an egg, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, this is sadaqah from me and this is all I have in my house, nothing else. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took that and he hit it so hard that if he had hit that person, he would have got injured. And he said, why do you do this? You have got nothing in your home and you bring everything in sadaqah. I'm not going to take it. You will go around asking from people later on. And on the other side, the other hadith, at the time of Tabuk, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was collecting, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq came with a bag full of coins, and he had brought everything. He never said anything, but Rasulullah realized, and he asked, what have you left behind? And he said, Allah and Rasul. So Rasulullah took it, accepted it, because he knew that Abu Bakr Siddiq was never going to complain to anyone, and he would not suffer, and he would not be feel regret. So there is this condition is there that if you are confident upon yourself, then you should spend in poverty as well. Otherwise, if you are in need, then you have to spend on yourself first. As they say, charity begins at home. So spend on yourself, on your family first, and then other people. حدثنا قتيبة قال حدثني عن يزيد بن عن خير رجل سأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الإسلام خير قال تطعم الطعام وتقرأ السلام على من عرفته ومن لم تعرف. A man came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, what aspect of Islam is best? He replied, to feed people and to greet those who you know and those who you do not know. So greeting people is also part of Iman, like Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu anhu said. تقرأ السلام على من عرفت ومن لم تعرف. Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullahi alayhi, Shaykh Yunus Sahib, Damat Barakatuhum, mentions over here the Asar of Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, which I related earlier, that it is among the signs of Qiyamah, إن من أشراط الساعة أن يسلم الرجل لا يسلم إلا للمعرفة. A person does salam, but only to those whom he knows. This is narrated by Imam Ahmad in his Musnad and Imam Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi in Kitabul Babun Kufranul Ashir wa Kufrun Duna Kufrin Fihi an Abi Sa'id an Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This chapter is with regards to women showing ingratitude to their husbands and kufr which is lesser than other kufr. Kufranul Ashir, kufran means nashukri, and al-ashir is from mu'asharat, and ashir means shohar, husband. So a woman showing ingratitude and being ungrateful and nashukri to her husband. And wa kufrun duna kufrin, and this is about kufr lesser than kufr. Duna means lesser, adwan. Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi is bringing this chapter in Kitabul Iman because he is trying to, there is one rule over here, وَبِزِدِّهَا تَتَبَيَّنُ الْأَشْيَاءُ. Things become clear by mentioning the total opposite. So if you mention the opposite of something, then that thing becomes clear. So this is why in Quran you will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Jannat and then Jahannam. Sometimes Jahannam and then Jannat. Most of the time Allah mentions Jannat first and then Jahannam, because they are both opposite of one another, so they both can be described and they can be understood by the people. So because Iman is being mentioned, so Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi is going on to kufr, and he is trying to say that look, kufr has variation. Some kufr is stronger and harder than the other kufr, and some kufr is very low. It is just nashukri of not Allah but of husband, as mentioned in this hadith. So Iman also has variation, like we mentioned Yazidu wa yanqus. So Iman also increases and decreases. There are maratib and ranks in Iman and in Kufr. حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلم مالك عن سيد بن سمرة طيب بن سالم بن بسم قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أريد النار فإذا أكثر أهلها النساء يكفرن قيل يكفرن بالله قال يكفرن العشيرة ويكفرن الحسان لو حسن إلى إحداهن دارت مرات منك شيئا ما قالت ما رأيت منك خيرا قط. I was shown the fire and I noticed that most of the inhabitants of fire are ladies because they do kufr. Someone asked, they do kufr of Allah? Rasulullah replied, no, they do nashukri of their husbands. And they are ungrateful to the kindness shown to them. If you were to be kind to one of them for the whole life, and then she saw something from you, she would say, I have never seen any good from you. Uritu an-nar fa idhan aktharu ahli an-nisa. Uritu an-nar, when was this shown? How was it shown? Maybe in a dream, maybe at the time of Mi'raj, or maybe in a halat kashfiyya. Allah knows best. Fa idhan aktharu ahli an-nisa. I saw that most of the inhabitants of Jahannam were ladies. Ladies were the most in Jahannam for their kufr, yakfurna. Sahabi asked, Ya Rasulullah, yakfurna billah? Do you mean to say that ladies are the most in kufr and they do kufr a lot in comparison to men? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, I'm not talking about the kufr haqiqi. I'm talking about kufranul ashir. So one is doing nashukri of Allah and the other is doing nashukri of husband. So nashukri of Allah is in the form of kufr. A kafir is not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why he worships other idols and he lets his mind drift away to others. The idols and whatever shirkiya harakat they do. So that is one nashukri and ingratitude, denial of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And another denial is of the favors of the husband. That yakfurna al-ashir, wa yakfurna al-ihsan. If you were to be nice to them for the whole time, ad-dahra means whole time, whole life. And then she saw something, she would go on to say, I have never seen any good from you. Meaning that, she would forget all the ihsanat of the whole life. And just once you were to go against her will and say something that, why are you doing this? Our Hazrat Maulana Islamul Haq Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi said, उनको सारी जिंदगी सब कुछ खरीद कर दो, एक मर्तबा बाजार जाओ और उसने कहा ये जूता खरीदना है और आपने कह दिया कि अभी तो 2 हफ्ते पहले तुमने जूता लिया था बेगम, बस तो वहां से चिल्लाना शुरू कर देगी और चिल्लाती 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 घर वापस आते तक चिल्लाती रहेगी, पूरा रास्ता दिमाग चाट जाएगी। शौहर भी सोच में पड़ जाएगा कि यार मैंने कहा इसको ना बोल दिया, जा तू ले आ इसको, 2 जूते ले आना, लेकिन मेरा दिमाग मत चाट। तो ये है कि बाज औरतों की फितरत और नेचर ऐसा होता है कि वो बिल्कुल शुक्र नहीं करती, कदर नहीं करती। यहाँ पर वो one hadith over here that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once passed by some ladies and he went to them, approached them, and he said, ladies, be extremely grateful to your husbands. Look, you are sitting in your homes and your husbands came with their mothers to look at you, they proposed for you, they gave gifts to you, they paid you dowry and meher, and they took you to their homes, and they provide food and clothing and everything for you, they look after you so nicely. So be grateful and be nice to your husbands and always keep this in mind. So we should teach our ladies to do shukr of the husband, and nashukri takes to Jahannam, because when a lady has a habit of nashukri, then what's going to happen? She will complain and she will sometimes abuse, swear, do ghibat, backbite her own husband in front of her friends and other people, in front of her family, brothers, sisters, mother, father. So these habits are the one which take the woman to the Jahannam. Now, there is one question over here. In this hadith, Prophet ﷺ said that the most ladies in Jahannam, most inhabitants of Jahannam will be ladies. There is another hadith which says that most inhabitants of Jannat will be ladies as well. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ زَوْجَتَانِ مِنَ الْحُورِ الْعِينِ, that every Jannati will have 2 wives from Hura'in, meaning from the Hura'in there will be plenty, but these women of dunya, even if a person only had 1 wife or he had no wife in this dunya, but he will be given at least 2 wives from the women of this dunya. If he had married 4 women over here, then all those 4 will be with him in Jannah. But if he had only 1, Allah will give him 2. It is said that Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam will be married to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah, because she had no husband over here, so she will be married to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So those ladies who had no husband, they will be married to someone over there. So that hadith shows that in Jannah there will be most women as well. So how can you combine between both hadiths? Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi writes, and Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullah alayhi also narrates over here 2 answers. Number 1, that women will be greater in number in both places, over there as well and over here as well, because in dunya we see that women are more than men. And number 2 is, second answer is, that in the beginning the ladies might be more in Jahannam, but because they had Iman, belief, so after they had suffered the consequences of their actions, when they will be permitted to come out of the azab and admitted into Jannat, then their number will increase in Jannat as well. So this is how both hadiths can be combined. Babun al-ma'asi min amr al-jahiliyyah wa la yukaffaru sahibuha birtikabiha illa bishirk. This chapter is with regards to acts in which one disobeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are part of jahiliyyah. However, when someone commits those acts, then he will not be called a kafir, a disbeliever, except if he commits shirk. This is because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, you are such a person that there is jahiliyyah and ignorance in you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, verily Allah does not forgive that anything be associated with him, and he forgives whatever is lesser than that for whom he wills. And if 2 groups of believers were to fight among themselves, then make peace and sulah among them. So Allah named them mu'mineen and believers. Hazrat Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi in this chapter is refuting the claim of Khawarij, that when a person sins and disobeys Allah, he goes out of the fold of Islam and becomes kafir. So Imam Bukhari rahmatullah is saying nobody becomes kafir by committing 1 sin. Al-ma'asi min amr al-jahiliyyah. Ma'asiyat is an act of jahiliyyah, and jahiliyyah people used to commit all sorts of sins. However, a person does not become kafir by doing any ma'asiyat. بِإِرْتِكَابِهَا, Imam Bukhari rahmatullah is saying that لا بالإعتقاد فإن استحلال المعصية كفر, that with a person is not kafir just by doing it, but if he thinks that it is okay and halal to sin, then his aqidah is affected, then it will become kafir, he will become kafir. So if a person, let's say, steals from someone or commits zina, then just by doing that act he will not become kafir. However, if he thinks it's halal to do it, then his aqidah is affected and he will become kafir. Then illa bishirki, if he associates with Allah, then the association and shirk will make him kafir. And shirk and kufr go hand in hand, they are both same. وَلَا يُكَفَّرُ صَاحِبُهَا, a person does not become kafir. The dalil for that is قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنك امرؤ فيك جاهلية. You are such a person that you have jahiliyyat in you. This sentence was addressed to Abu Zar Ghifari radiallahu anhu when he said a word of swearing to Sayyidina Bilal radiallahu anhu. He said, you are the son of a black woman. So like in these days people say nigger. So Hazrat I shouldn't say that word, I'm sorry, but Hazrat Abu Zar radiallahu anhu had an argument with Bilal, and he said, Yabna Sauda, son of a black woman. So Hazrat Bilal told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah got angry on Abu Zar that you are making such racist remarks. You have jahiliyyat in you. The people of jahiliyyat and ignorance used to say these types of things. Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi Rahmatullah Alayhi writes that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him that you have this jahiliyyat habit in you, but he did not say that you have become kafir, so you have to repeat your Iman and renew your Iman, say the kalma again. So even though he committed an act of ma'siyat, but Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam just got angry on him, scolded him, but left him in his own condition, because slowly Abu Zar Ghifari was cured, and he asked for pardon from Bilal radiallahu anhu, and he never said that jumla again. So sometimes these types of things happen to us, but that does not take us out of the fold of Islam. Allah Pak has said Allah forgives. Allah does not forgive shirk and forgives whatever is lesser than that to whom He wills. So shirk is the only unforgivable sin. Other sins can be forgiven. وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا. If two groups of believers fight. Now fighting is a sin, but Allah still called them mu'mineen, because if they are fighting, then one will be upon haqq and the other will be upon batil. So the one on the batil is wrong, he is committing a sin, but still Allah is calling him, the second group, mu'mineen. They are both mu'mineen. فَسَمَّاهُمُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So Imam Bukhari is trying to say that no matter how many sins a person accumulates, he will still remain a Muslim, and he will not go out of the fold of Islam, because Islam is to believe, and he is still believing. Now we will read the hadith and then finish. حدثنا عبد الرحمن المبارك قال حدثنا عمر بن قال حدثنا يونس بن حسن نحن بن قيس قال ذهبت لأنصر هذا الرجل فلقيني أبو بكر فقال قلت أنصر هذا الرجل قال جاء في نسمة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا التقى المسلمان بسيفيهما فالقاتل والمقتول في النار. قلت يا رسول الله هذا القاتل ما بال المقتول؟ قال إنه كان حريصا على قتل صاحبه. Ahnaf ibn Qais says, I went to help this man. He was indicating towards Sayyiduna Ali karramallahu wajhahu in the battles between Sayyiduna Ali and his mukhalifin, and so Ahnaf ibn Qais says, I was going to support Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu anhu in those battles, and Abu Bakr Saqafi radiallahu anhu, a sahabi, met me along the way. So he asked me, where do you intend to go? And I said, I'm going to help this man, meaning Ali karramallahu wajhahu. Abu Bakr said, go back to your home. I have heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, when two Muslims confront one another with their swords, then the killer and the one who is killed both go in the fire. I said, Ya Rasulullah, this killer should go in the fire, but why does the maqtul also go in the fire? And he replied, because he was haris and eager to kill his counterpart and his sahib. So because of that intention, he had the sword, and they both fought with the swords, and it was his fate, and he was unlucky that he got killed. Otherwise he had the intention to kill the other person, so this firm intention of killing the other person will land him into the fire of Jahannam. So إِذَا الْتَقَى الْمُسْلِمَانِ, they are both doing something wrong, but still they are both Muslims. They don't go out of the fold of Islam. They might go to suffer the consequence of their action. Today what is going on around the world, civil wars they should read this hadith carefully, that two Muslims should not come in front of one another. Whereas whether in Pakistan, Muslims killing Muslims, or whether in Syria, ISIS, Musibat, killing the Free Syria armies, and they are fighting among themselves. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support the people of haqq, and give some understanding to those Muslims who are confronting one another and causing civil wars. With regards to the ISIS, they are not on the right path, and they are on batil, and they are causing a lot of fitna in that area. And when we research what they are doing, they are killing Muslims, and chopping the heads off, and burning people, and these types of things is not allowed, is against the teachings of Islam. So because of them, a lot of things are happening over here. We see what happened in Paris on Friday. So we have to make dua for the whole ummah. May Allah have mercy upon the whole ummah and protect the whole ummah. وبه قال حدثنا سليمان بن حرب قال حدثنا شعبة عن واصل النحل بن المعروري قال لقيت أبا ذر بالربذة وعليه حلة وعلى غلامه حلة فسألته عن ذلك فقال إني سابقت رجلا فعيرته بأمه فقال لي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أبا ذر أعيرته بأمه إنك امرؤ فيك جاهلية إخوانكم خولكم جعلهم الله تحت أيديكم فمن كان أخوه تحت يدي فليطعمه مما يأكل وليلبسه مما يلبس ولا تكلفهم ما يغلبهم فإن كلفتموهم فأعينوهم. I met Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu in Rabza, a place about 36 kilometers from Medina Munawwara, and he was wearing a suit, and his ghulam and slave was wearing a suit. So I asked him with regards to this, that you are wearing such nice clothes, and your slave is also wearing similar nice clothes. So why are you giving him this much expensive clothes? So he mentioned this hadith, that it so happens that once I had sababtu rajulan, I had क्या तर्जुमा किया है यहाँ पर इन्होंने sababtu rajulan, I was exchanging insults with a man and abused him by insulting his mother. Exchanging insults with a man, and I abused him by insulting his mother. So Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to me, "O Abu Dharr, you abused him by insulting his mother. You are such a person that you have a little bit of jahiliyyat in you. Imru'un fika jahiliyyatun." And then he said, your brothers are your khadims and your attendants. Ikhwanukum khawalukum. Khawal is plural of kha'il, and kha'il means al-muta'ahid, meaning nigran, caretaker, meaning these slaves are your brothers, and they are your human being brothers. They are also humans like you, and they are your brothers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed them under your care, protection. So whosoever's brother is under his care, then he should feed him what he eats, and he should clothe him what he wears, and he should do not give them taklif and burden with something that overpowers them. Then if you burden them with such thing, then help them. This is the meaning of hadith, and maybe a little bit of explanation will come in Kitabul Itq if we get there, inshallah. Babun zulmun duna zulmin. We will read this chapter later on, because this is also like kufrun duna kufrin, that one kufr is much more and the other kufr is less. So one zulm is lesser than the other zulm. Sometimes one zulm is greater and the other zulm is lesser. चलो पढ़ ही लेते हैं. حدثنا أبو الوليد قال حدثنا شعبة قال حدثني بشر قال حدثنا محمد عن شعبة عن سليمان إبراهيم قال لما نزل الذين آمنوا بسمان بظلم قال أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نفسه لم يظلم فأنزل الله عز وجل إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. When this ayat was revealed, that those who have Iman and who do not mix with their Iman any wrongdoing. This is in Surah number 6, verse number 82, Surah Al-An'am. And the khabar is أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. they are the ones who have aman and peace, and they are the rightly guided ones. So Sahaba said, which one of us has not wronged himself, Ya Rasulullah? Allah revealed, surely shirk is zulm azim, the greatest zulm. So shirk is the greatest zulm, and lesser zulm is sin. Because ayyuna lam yazlim nafsahu means we have all done sins. We are all sinful. Nobody is, pious and parhezgar and muttaqi so much that he never commits sin. Only Rasulullah is ma'soom. Nobody else is ma'soom. So they said, Ya Rasulullah, we all make sins. So this means that, we won't have any aman and we are not rightly guided. Because Allah said, those who have believed and, do not commit any zulm, they will have aman, and we have done zulm. So we will not be protected, and we will all be punished in the fire of Jahannam. So Rasulullah explained that no. وَلَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِظُلْمٍ means بِشِرْكٍ. لَمْ يَلْبِسُوا إِيمَانَهُمْ بِشِرْكٍ. Zulm means shirk, because shirk is the greatest zulm. So they are the one who will not have security and who will not be guided. But however, small sins, everybody, does some mistakes, though they are not counted over here. May Allah give us the understanding of hadith. We will read Babu Alamat al-Munafiq later on. Maybe I might explain this hadith a little bit more tomorrow. We have to go for majlis now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.